What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video. And in this video we will talk about also Jurgen Klopp's reaction to Diogo Jota's hat-trick and Salah's reaction for equaling Steven Gerrard's Champions League haul of 22 goals in the Champions League, which is an absolutely terrific achievement by Salah so early on in his Liverpool career. So Liverpool, according to many newspapers, are prepared to pay around £13.5 million for the transfer of Ajax centre-back Schuurs, because Jurgen Klopp looks to find a short-term replacement for Virgil van Dijk, and this guy is a towering centre-back at 191 centimeters tall. That's like 6 foot 3 inches tall, and yes, he's just 20 years old, but he could be really a bargain option and a long-term option for Liverpool, where we could develop him and long-term he could replace Virgil van Dijk in like 3 or 4 seasons when Van Dijk maybe moves on in his career. This guy could be ready by then to perform at the levels of Virgil van Dijk. He has the potential to become world class. Right now, of course, he's not world class. So the report says that Liverpool are now planning to buy Schuurs as a starting centre-back from January. With the Premier League champions, Liverpool believe that £13.5 million could persuade Ajax to sell the youngster, whose contract is up in 2022. So at the end of this season, he will have just one more season left on his contract. So Ajax either sell him in January or this summer, or they risk losing him for absolutely nothing. And the Dutch starlet looks a very promising young player who could make an immediate impact in a problem position at Liverpool. And yes, so far Reece Williams and Nathaniel Phillips came in and performed really well against teams like Atalanta and Midtjylland and West Ham. But playing against Manchester City on the weekend will be a whole different prospect. And also, it's no coincidence that Liverpool have the worst percentage of aerial duels won in the Premier League, just 40%, which is an absolutely shocking number. And Liverpool conceded also the second most goals in the whole Premier League, and that is cause for concern. And of course, that is skewed heavily by the 7 goals that we conceded against Aston Villa. And to be honest, Van Dijk was playing in that game, so we can't only blame the young defenders. And in fact, since Van Dijk is out of the team, Liverpool actually kept more clean sheets than with Van Dijk in the team this season, which is quite weird and unusual that we could keep clean sheets against the likes of Atalanta, for example, without Van Dijk or without Fabinho. And it's very interesting to look at Schuurs' statistics and compare them to maybe Van Dijk and other Liverpool centre-backs right now. And actually, the player comparison website Smarter Scout rates the 2017-18 version of Toby Alderweireld as being most similar to what Schuurs offered Ajax last season. Next in line is Chelsea's Antonio Rudiger from 18-19 season, and he's followed by a very familiar name, Joel Matip. And Matip's debut campaign for Liverpool is deemed to be statistically very similar to what Schuurs has been providing in the Eredivisie. It's hard not to wonder if Michael Edwards' transfer algorithm computer has gone ping when we scouted Schuurs and looked at his statistics and his numbers on how he performs as a centre-back. In terms of what Schuurs actually offers, clearly he likes to tackle. He has averaged 1.9 tackles per game per 90 minutes in the Eredivisie this season, which among centre-backs with at least 6 appearances, that is the 8th most tackles per 90 minutes. Ajax have averaged 60% possession this season, and Schuurs has had fewer opportunities to intervene than those players above him in the rankings too, because Ajax has the most possession out of any team in the Eredivisie. It's worth noting also that he's yet to make a last man tackle either, which implies that he's more proactive and not having to react to either his own mistakes or those of his teammates. One potential issue though is his apparent weakness in the air, which seems unusual for a defender who stands 6'3" tall, but Schuurs has won just 19 out of the 44 aerial duels that he has contested in the Dutch top flight, and that success rate is 43%. But guess what? That is still better than Liverpool's aerial success rate in the Premier League, which is just 40%. As I said, that's a shockingly low number. And that's actually, that 43% is actually closer to what you might see from a fullback rather than a player at centre-back. And while Ajax have been involved in a similar number of headed duels per game as Liverpool so far this season, around 29, there are 7 teams in the Premier League who have contested more than the second most aerial heavy side in the Netherlands, Ajax. An aerial bombardment is par for the course in England, it's pretty usual, and Schuurs doesn't yet look capable of dealing with it. So I think that actually puts a little bit of a question mark over this transfer, because is Per Schuurs that much better than what we already have in reserve, which is Rhys Williams, Nathaniel Phillips? I think until January Liverpool will have enough data to actually make their minds up on whether to make this transfer or not, and by that time we will be able to probably make the best decision going forward. But what is certain is that Per Schuurs has a higher ceiling and a higher potential than Rhys Williams or Nathaniel Phillips, and it would perhaps not be right to sign Schuurs in January and expect him straight away to dominate aerially in the Premier League. Liverpool's long-term interest in Schuurs is on record and it's noted, and Liverpool don't tend to forget a potential signing once that signing or that player caught the eye of Liverpool. So I think Per Schuurs is definitely a player that Liverpool should monitor in the long term, and also the fans should keep an eye out on it for him. And Per Schuurs started his career at Fortuna Sittard in the Dutch second division, where he played 60 games and scored 10 goals, which is pretty amazing that as a centre-back he scored 10 goals there. And then he of course played for the Ajax youth team in the second division as well, 31 games scoring 5 goals, and then he played for the Ajax first team 21 games already, and he scored 2 goals in the process as well. So he already has 112 games in professional football, which as a 20-year-old is a pretty good number, so he already has some experience under his belt. So Steven Gerrard has 30 goals in European competitions, Salah has 22, but 21 goals is what Steven Gerrard scored in the competition in terms of not the qualifiers, just the group stages and the knockout stages, and Salah equaled that record yesterday by scoring against Atalanta, and this is what Salah said: "Of course I'm very happy to be the highest one. Steven Gerrard is a legend for the club, it's something I'm very proud of, but as I've said before, the most important thing is the team, so I'm happy to score goals to help the team to win games, and that's the most important thing." And Salah already has 103 goals for Liverpool in 164 games, and believe it or not, in Liverpool's history Salah has the second best goals per game ratio in Liverpool's history, which is outstanding. He scores more than 1 goal every 2 games on average, which is an outstanding record. And I mean, 9 goals in just 12 games says a lot about Salah's contribution this season. He is world class, and this could be his best goal scoring season ever. And I want to tell you guys Diogo Jota's reaction to his performance and to that famous hat-trick in the Champions League against Atalanta. I'm playing in the best team in my career so far, that's for sure. I don't know if it was my best moment, but obviously scoring goals in my way of playing football, so I'm really happy with this, and the result, of course, a great win away in the Champions League, so good moment. good night this was. My favorite goal is the first one, because just because it unlocks the game. I think for all the teams it's important to get the first one in each game. We scored soon in the game, so it was a good moment for me and for the team, because after that we could manage the game our way. That was the most important. And well, I obviously love playing with Salah and Mane, two world-class players. We all know their quality. It makes it easier for me to do my job because they are outstanding players, and I think we did a great game together. And we can take a lot of positives from this result and this game into the Man City game. 5 goals, it doesn't happen so often, and you score 5 in one game, so I think that's good. I think the clean sheet is good as well, so if we can do another clean sheet against Man City, I'm pretty sure we will win the game. And that's the mentality that we want to see from Jota, already thinking about winning the game against Man City. And Alisson said this after the Atalanta game: I think it was the right time for the team and for me to finally get a clean sheet. And not that we have been playing bad, but we have had tough matches that we have played against tough opponents that make our job really difficult on the pitch. Tonight it wasn't different from the way we play. It was better the way they tried to defend against us. We had more space on the pitch because we worked harder, we created even more spaces, and we were calm enough to keep the ball, to prepare the situations. Obviously, when we had the chances up front, we scored the goals, and then we kept the clean sheet, and that was also our goal here: 3 points and the clean sheet. And Jota is a great guy, a great player. He's here to contribute, as everybody is, like Firmino, Salah, Mane. We are a team, and we are not a team of one player, but we have many players who come in and give the response that we need. I'm really happy for Jota. He got the hat-trick and he deserved it, because we worked hard on the pitch and we helped him a lot with movements. Not only the guys who scored, but we made a good job with movements, creating the spaces, and the passing was good, and obviously his quality in front of goal, we can't deny it. And Van Dijk continued: the last weeks have been very difficult times because we have lost some important players in our team, but now we have many coming back as well. Joel was here as well. He's a player we need on the pitch. We need everybody fit. Naby Keita coming back as well. I told him holidays are off for you now, Naby. It's good to have the boys back. Reece is a really good lad. He's always asking me to speak with him and talk with him on the pitch, so he's humble, he works hard, and this helped him a lot. Nat, I'm really happy for the way he played on Saturday. It was more difficult for him because he has gone a long time without playing. Coming back from an injury, he was prepared in his mind, but I think he wasn't waiting for this opportunity. He grabbed it with both hands and did really well, and I'm happy for him. Happy for the team with what we have in front of us. We have a big challenge now, but I'm really happy with what we are doing on the pitch. It's good to be top of the group, but we are still thinking of match after match. We don't think further. We think on our next challenge. Tonight it was Atalanta. They are a really good team, as I've said before. We worked hard for that scoreline that we created. The 9 points we have are well deserved, and I mean, Liverpool are in command of this group. And actually, if we beat Atalanta, then we could already be through to the next round if we beat them at Anfield. But I think Liverpool want to win this group, and now we have a very good chance of doing so. I mean, if we beat Midtjylland away, then we already have 12 points, and against Atalanta and Ajax, maybe 2 more draws are enough. But I think Liverpool will want to win every game, no matter what lineup we put out. Klopp talked about this selection headache that he apparently has up front. Good performances never give me a headache, Klopp said. For tonight, that was the decision. It was clear, it makes sense for tonight. First of all, to use the good shape Diogo Jota is in, and because of the way Atalanta plays and defends, it made sense that the skill set of Diogo helps, but the world is sometimes a really bad place. That in the moment when somebody is shining, we speak immediately about another player who played for us. It feels like 500 games in a row. We would not be in the Champions League even if Firmino would not be with us. And immediately I have to explain why he is not in the team. He will be in the team, and for a lot of people in the world, if you would ask them what makes Liverpool some days special, I would say the way Bobby Firmino is playing, because on a good day he's not to defend. For us it's important that we have more than 11 players to choose from, and tonight Diogo used his shape in an incredible way and played a super game. But that says nothing about Bobby and has nothing to do with me causing headaches. I'm more than happy that the boys played like they played tonight. Reece Williams, what an exceptional performance, Klopp said. I cannot imagine being 19 years old playing my second adult professional game in the Champions League against Muriel and Zapata, or most of the time against Zapata. It's incredible. I would have been nervous like hell. The boys are not. That helps massively, but defending is obviously a common thing, and how the team defended tonight was absolutely incredible. When you leave the last line alone, which we did from time to time, not on purpose, but because of thinking things are always going well, in the end we win the challenges anyway. We had to change that obviously because Verge is not there anymore. So that means if you share that responsibility now, if you put it on 10 shoulders instead of one, then it can work out. Tonight it was incredibly good when the last line did what the last line did, supported by all the others, but everybody has to step up now because Robbo and Trent and Joe, they are now in charge. Whoever plays with them, if it's Joel, it's different, but if one of the younger one plays with them, they are the most experienced and they have to demand and command the things in that line. So it was really nice to see, and I couldn't be more happy for Reece, because you should see him in the dressing room. You would probably need something special to hit the smile out of his face. It's probably not possible. It's really great to see, and it's so good to see the younger players really performing at the very top level in the Champions League and in the Premier League. I think they have a great future ahead of them. Thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.